as we
145.
145 for UFC featherweight champion Max Blessed Holloway. One half of our co-main event is official.
Perry's up next.
As Mike Perry is up next, the man who
The man who loves you now.
the man who approved of my new friendly blonde hair.
Begrudgingly accepts you.
Begrudgingly. But Max Holloway has made weight. One half of our co-main event is official.
Mike Perry.
Platinum Mike Perry up next. Seems to be in good spirits. I remember other fight cards. The weight cut has really gotten to him. So we'll see what he looks like on the scale.
$170.5.
170.5 for Platinum Mike Perry, who takes on Jeff Neal in the featured prelim bout on ESPN2. I do want to say ESPN2, not ESPN. So those of you tuning in to watch the ESPN prelims, it is on ESPN2, and UFC welterweight champion Kamaru Usman is up next. He takes on Colby Covington in a highly heated rivalry in the main event Saturday night. So we'll see what the Nigerian nightmare hits when he steps on the scale. He's never had an issue making weight before, so I can't see why that would change now. $170 for the champion. One half of our main event is official. UFC welterweight champion Kamaru Usman has hit the scale of 170 pounds, right championship weight, right on the dot. And Spears, Jermaine Durandamy will be up next, who takes on reigning bantamweight and featherweight champion Amanda Nunes. But it is for the bantamweight title fight. It is for the bantamweight championship of the world. She is the number one contender, coming off a violent knockout over Aspen Ladd. She said that she could have fought Amanda at featherweight or bantamweight, because people forget she is the inaugural bantamweight champion of the UFC, featherweight champion of the UFC, before she was stripped of her title. But let's see if she can hit the bantamweight mark here. $134.5 for Jermaine Durandamy, as her friends and family behind her let out a roar of ovation. So far, one half of the first title fight is a go. Peter Yan is up next, who takes on Uriah Faber on the first fight of the main card. Former WEC champion, face of the WEC, former multiple-time UFC title challenger Uriah Faber, who recently came out of retirement to knock out Ricky Simone at UFC Sacramento earlier this year. Peter Yan's been on an absolute tear. My co-host Pete Carroll is convinced that Peter Yan will send Uriah Faber back into retirement.
So we got Akhmedov next.
135.5 for Peter Yan, as there's another ovation behind us. So far, we are perfect. Main card is really filling up. As I was saying, my A-side co-host Pete Carroll is convinced that Peter Yan will not only win, but send Uriah Faber back into retirement after Saturday night.
I think that's an entirely reasonable conclusion. I mean, this is a really tough fight for him. Peter has just looked amazing in the octagon.
I think amazing is an understatement. Yes. Omari Akhmedov is about to the scale, who takes on fellow middleweight Ian Heinisch on the ESPN2 preliminary card. Former welterweight. I don't know how this guy makes welterweight. This is the welterweight, correct? Yes. No, he's middleweight now, as Steven tries to do.
Yes.
185.5 for Mary Akhmedov, number 14th ranked featherweight in the world. Takes on Ian Heinisch on the ESPN2 preliminary card. And Jeff Neal is up next, who takes on Mike Perry in the featured prelim fight on ESPN2. Jeff Neal, full-time fighter. I actually spoke with him at UFC 240. he was still doing his part-time job as a waiter.
Yeah.
And I asked him, I go, what's it going to take for you to quit? He goes, I don't know, a lot of money. And then he ended up winning a fight of the night bonus, or performance of the night bonus. So ended up
I call it a lot of money, but it's a good nest.
$50,000 is a lot for a waiter.
After
I've
taxes.
been there, done that. The number 14th ranked Jeff Neal, former Dana White Tuesday Night Contender Series alum. Very, very fun fight against Nico Price, UFC 240. $170 for Jeff Neal. So that fight is a go. Jeff Neal and Mike Perry both make weight ahead of their ESPN2 featured preliminary bout Saturday night at UFC 245. It looks like Brandon Moreno might be next. I can't see if anyone's in front of him, but I do see him standing over there in the corner. It looks like we have a line. We have a line of fighters. I see Moreno, Nunes, and Marlon Moraes all standing in line away. And I was correct. Mexican flyweight Brandon Moreno out next, coming off that draw over. Who did he have a draw with? Asher Askarov? I can't quite remember. And a very important flyweight fight. In a division where the champion, Henry Cejudo, might not ever return. Every fight between contenders is important. You have Askarov, that was the draw. Split draw. He's very adamant he thought he won. But any time two flyweight contenders fight is going to be important down the line. 125.5 for the number 5 ranked flyweight of the world, Brandon Moreno, who takes on Kai Kara France in a very low-key exciting fight.
Champ is up
Yep,
next.
champ Amanda Nunes up next, who takes on Jermaine Durandamy in the first title fight on the main card. She's coming off that head kick win over Holly Holm in a fight. I think a lot of people cemented her as the greatest female fighter of all time. I was under the impression that she was already the greatest female fighter of all time after just starching Chris Cyborg, but Casey Leiden, our cameraman, was very adamant that she hadn't reached that pinnacle yet. And then after watching that fight, Holm was the one that pushed her over the top. Jermaine is the last championship she hasn't fought that she could possibly fight. No way she's going to fight a strawweight champion. She already has a win over Jermaine years ago. Jermaine said she learned more in that fight than ever before, so this will be a rematch for the title this time. $134.5. For the champion, Amanda Nunes. As her wife. Is it what? Did they officially get married, Stephen?
I don't believe so.
If they did, I am not aware, but fiance, wife, girlfriend, Nina Ansel, fellow UFC fighter. And so, Marlon Moraes, former World Series of Fighting champion turned UFC title challenger Marlon Moraes up next. First appearance inside the octagon since his TKO loss to Henry Cejudo back in June. Said that he just ran out of energy in that fight. He's now training. I've seen he's been at ATT a lot on Instagram, so let's see what he looks like on the scale now. 135.5 for Marlon Moraes. Looking to get back into the win column after losing to Henry Cejudo in their championship main event at UFC 238 in Chicago in June. Very adamant. He's confident that Jose Aldo will make weight, but if we see the Jose Aldo of old and the cut down to bantamweight hasn't sucked him dry, that fight is going to be a banger. Because I don't know if you saw, but I think it was, I can't remember who the referee was, but he said the Henry Cejudo Marlon Moraes fight was the fastest he's ever seen two fighters throw punches and kicks in his entire life.
And you haven't seen Demetrius Johnson fight before?
I think it was the combination of power and speed, just plop, 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 plop. Oscar Pichota up next. Kicks off the card. 186 for Oscar Pichota's one half of the first fight on the UFC Fight Pass prelims. Punalehe Soriano, former Dana White Tuesday Night Contender Series alum. And I cannot see who is next. There we go, Alexander the Great Volkanovski, who takes on Max Holloway in the co-main event, UFC 245 on Saturday night. Australia's own, who defended all of the nerds and virgins of the world at the UFC 245 fighters panel on Wednesday.
Halfway through this. One more and we're at the halfway. At least as far as personnel.
144.5 for Alexander Volkanovski. Our co-main event title fight between Max Holloway and Alexander Volkanovski is official. Both have made weight. Max Holloway weighs in, hits the championship mark. Alexander Volkanovski weighs in, hits the championship mark. So that is official. Max Holloway will put his UFC featherweight championship of the world on the line against Alexander Volkanovski in the co-main event at UFC 245 on Saturday night. That is official. And Irene Aldana up next in a very important bantamweight fight. She welcomes Ketlin Vieira back to the octagon after a long layoff, number 10 ranked Irene Aldana versus number 2 ranked Ketlin Vieira. $135.5 for Irene Aldana. She welcomes Ketlin Vieira back, who number 2 ranked bantamweight in the world. She's very adamant when I spoke with her that the winner of this fight should be next in line for bantamweight title shot. But she does recognize that Amanda Nunes' accolades would warrant an immediate rematch should she lose, but she's willing to step in, fight whoever for the belt. As her opponent, Ketlin Vieira, steps up to the scale. Hasn't fought since her win over Kat Zingano, I believe, at UFC 222. It's been a minute. 136 for Ketlin Vieira. That fight is official. Ketlin Vieira and Irene Aldana both make weight. That is official on the ESPN2 preliminary card at UFC 245 in Las Vegas on Saturday night. Side note on Irene Aldana, that is my mother's favorite fighter.
Interesting.
Mexican woman, Mexican fighter, you know. She watched like 1 or 2 fight cards with me when I would go visit home. And I was like, Mom, this fighter's from Mexico. She's like, female UFC fighter? She's on my team. So.
Did you see Grasso yet?
She has not. I see Aldo behind the wall. $185.5 for Punilani Soriano. His fight against Oscar Pichota is official to kick off UFC 245 UFC Fight Pass prelims, but we're gonna have to go talk about Jose Aldo right now. He's standing in tow, ready to hit the scales. I can't tell if he's happy or sad. He just looks completely exhausted from the weight cut. His longtime coach Andres Pataneres is in tow with him, so we'll see. He seems to bounce around. He claps his hands as he makes his way. He looks in good spirits, so we will see. 136 for Jose Aldo. He has officially made the bantamweight limit as his fight against Marlon Moraes is official. Former featherweight champion Jose Aldo drops to the bantamweight and makes the 136-pound weight limit. This is the first time he's ever had a 3-round fight, and he's in the blue corner. First time at bantamweight, fighting a fellow Brazilian, not in a title fight, not in the main event. There was a lot of storylines surrounding this fight. He has officially made weight. $135.5 for Uriah Faber. That fight, his fight against Peter Yan, is official. A former WEC champion, multiple-time UFC title challenger, new dad, former A-side co-host for a week. Uriah Faber has officially made weight. His fight against Peter Yan to kick off the UFC 245 main card is a go. I'm gonna have to hand this over to Steven for about 2 seconds. Oh, that Steven typed something. Ian Heinisch. 185.5 for Ian Heinisch. His fight against Omari Akhmanov is official, number 10 ranked. Ian Heinisch looking to get back into the win column after coming up short to Derek Brunson. So far, we are flying through this weigh-ins. No one has made weight yet, but as I say that, I could have just cursed the whole card. Long-time MMA veteran Ben Saunders, who takes on Matt Brown to kick off the ESPN2 prelim card, is up next. I don't think we have to worry about Ben Saunders making weight, but crazier things have happened. 170 for Ben Saunders as he makes the weight. So far, the trend continues. No one has missed weight. We are flying through these weigh-ins. Chase Hooper up next in the featured UFC Fight Pass preliminary as he takes on Daniel Tamer in a featherweight fight. Was unfazed by Daniel Tamer's attempted psych out at the stare-downs yesterday. $144.5 for Chase Hooper. The trend continues. No one has missed weight yet. The only main card fighter we are waiting on is Colby Covington. Araujo. I apologize if I mispronounce it. $126. Vivian Araujo. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that. Coming off the win over Alexis Davis. She's number 5 ranked, taking number 2 ranked Jessica Ai. It should be noted, Stephen, that we are waiting on Colby Covington, but he is staying at the Trump Towers down on the Strip. And I am right. Daniel Tamer up next, who takes on Chase Hooper in the featured prelim bout on UFC Fight Pass. Sweden's own Daniel Tamer. $145.5 for Daniel Tamer. He is on weight ahead of his fight against Chase Hooper. So far, trend continues. No one missed weight. We are waiting on Jessica Ai, Vivian Araujo, Matt Brown, and Colby Covington. $125.5 for Kai Kara France, New Zealand's own. So the trend continues. No one has missed weight yet. This has also been one of the fastest weigh-ins I've ever seen in my life. But the last time I said that, Stephen, was UFC 240, where takes on Ben Saunders to kick off the ESPN2 prelims. 171 for Matt Brown. He's officially made weight ahead of his welterweight scrap against Ben Saunders on ESPN2. Has retired in the past before, but he's back. He used to do a pretty great podcast with Dan Martin, as we can see, UFC Hall. Is Mark Coleman in the Hall of Fame? Yeah, UFC Hall of Famer Mark Coleman. Pride legend. Shock. Colby Covington up next. One half of our main event. Still looking a little sweaty. 170 on the dot for Colby Covington. There you have it, folks. Our main event between Kamaru Usman and Colby Covington is official. Both come on. Is there no hoop? Oh, there it is. The hoop with the lining. $131. We just got it, apparently. Trying to figure out what's happening. Which would be 6 pounds over. Or 5 over if it's 136. Seems to be a little bit of confusion. So it appears just guys weighed in 131 pounds. Just not look happy, a little bit of confusion there. And just guy comes in at 131 pounds. She has missed weight.